Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another great episode of the StudioDork Podcast, episode 13. My name is Gary, and also with me at this particular time is...
Cameron. And get ready to listen to some fantastic...
interesting... Wait, / or backward slash?
I like backslash.
Okay, backslash.
Backslash.
Interesting stuff.
Interesting stuff.
So, you just came from a movie or something, huh?
Yeah, I went and saw Sherlock Holmes tonight. Game of Shadows or something, I think.
Oh, yeah, the second one, huh? Part 2?
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I mean, the movie, it's Sherlock Holmes. The first one wasn't that great, but definitely the visuals on this one totally stood out, and there's this chase scene that's amazing.
It's real, like, action-y and stuff, right?
It's really action. There's a lot of slow-mo in this one, which is a little...
Did we just make up a new word on StudioDork Podcast, episode 13?
I don't think so. I think I might have heard that before.
Action-y?
We can go with action-y. It's cool.
I've never heard that.
But yeah, it was cool. The thing that you're gonna like if you ever see the movie is the end credits, dude. Some really, really fantastic After Effects work. Ridiculous After Effects work. And I remember in the first Sherlock Holmes,
I was about to mention, hey,
you showed the
very beginning
part, where the Warner Brothers logo was in the floor. They do something like that in the beginning this time, but it ties into the end credits too. Oh, it's really super good, yeah. And then their visual effects, like, that's what saved the movie. The story was not all that great, but the visual effects were super, super good.
Nice.
So, yeah, so definitely I would say go check it out. Sherlock Holmes, Game of Shadows.
Okay. Is that have you seen any other movies recently, or was that pretty much...
I've been watching a lot of Netflix movies, but I watch like Apocalypse Now and a bunch of other stuff, but those are like older movies that I'm just kind of catching up on.
I haven't really gone out and seen any movies. This has been like, for the last couple of weeks, there hasn't really been any movies coming out. I know, what's that one, The Shadow, or, The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo?
Oh, yeah,
right?
that one.
Called that?
Yeah.
That looks good to me.
Yeah,
I would see that. I think that's pretty much, besides that, there's not really anything out.
I would also recommend Tintin. That's another one it looks really good. Yeah. And I was going to talk about Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. I don't remember what I was going to talk about. We're doing some of the marketing, and it just looks really, really good. I would definitely recommend to go out. That comes out on Friday, but it's actually in LA. It came out tonight.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I think it's 10 o'clock, yeah. The theater that we went to tonight, they had showings, but we decided to go to an early showing instead. We went to the Pacific Theater.
Oh, yeah. Culver City.
Yeah. But yeah, I'd recommend that. And then, did you see the Dark Knight trailer yet?
The new one?
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it's online. You can see it, but
I will see it right after this podcast. I saw the original one.
It's an amazing trailer, man. Oh my gosh, I'm so hyped for that movie. And then also, have you seen since we're on trailers, have you seen the Hunger Games trailer?
Yeah, I did see that one.
What do you think of that?
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I guess based off books and stuff. And I was almost thinking about picking up a novel, like actually reading a novel. I haven't done that since I was like in high school.
Speaking of that, I as well was thinking about something like that too.
Oh yeah?
Not necessarily a novel, but just some kind of story. Just do something with reading. I really don't read too much, and
yeah,
I don't know.
That's cool. What were you thinking? Do you have any ideas of what you were thinking about reading?
Maybe some kind of maybe like famous story or something.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going backwards. Maybe like a movie that I've seen that's based on a book. Usually, when you watch a movie, a lot of people are making statements like, "Oh, that movie's pretty good, but the book is so much better." Usually, I hear that all the time about stuff. So, and then it'll be interesting to go backwards, where seeing, reading a book about something that I've already seen.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not sure exactly which one, like which movie.
Well,
what's that video game one? Tom Clancy's. I don't know if I would like that, but I know. Like the first or second one or something.
I'm trying to think if you would like those or not. My stepdad reads those, but he reads them because they're like really technical on the side of like military stuff. So I don't know if you'd like those.
I don't know too much about military stuff.
Well, that's what's kind of cool is you would learn. I would almost tell you, like, I know you don't like to read a lot.
Yeah, I have, like, my issue, I think, or maybe it's just my excuse, I'm not sure.
No.
But I don't know if I have a ADD or whatever. I get distracted easily, and as you guys, our audience sees, we're always talking about different topics, and that's mostly my fault. I go all these different directions and go this way because of my ADD.
Well, I do the same thing, but I think that...
But you go with the flow because I'm already doing it.
Yeah, but I like doing that. That's what I do like that about the show because I like the whole aspect of, like, what if, I like that. So, like,
yeah, and I like going different directions and losing people, kind of. because we always come back and we always end up finishing. It's not like we just, I think, maybe there's been like once or twice where...
Most of the time we do, but there have been a couple times where I'll get talking on something and you get either like...
so you blame it on me.
Subconsciously you get kind of bored of it seems like, so then you just kind of like derail it and then I forget to come back. So sometimes it happens. I
think maybe like once or something you mentioned that might happen. But usually, in general, whenever we do go all these different directions with all these different topics, but in the end we always come back and we always explain it to our, we're not necessarily specialists in all the stuff we talk about, but these are just our own opinions about things. So.
All right. Well, what I would say on the reading side of things, to bring it back to that, is that you might want to try a comic. I have a thing full of comics, and that's not a ton of like.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not really wordy, you know what I mean? So it has art involved in it.
It's not a bad. I've never really gotten into comic books. Like a long time ago, when we came from Russia, my dad bought like a big box of comic books at our garage sale for like $5 from like a humongous thing, and had all these comic books, and the idea was just to keep them and like sell them and make maybe some money or something like that from them. But I never really got into them. And a lot of people were into it. Like I had friends and different people that were comic books and X-Men and Batman and Superman dies and all these different, like at that time, like there are all these different things.
Yeah, and that's what people think of when you think of comic books. They think of all like the superhero comics and stuff. Ones. And that's why it gets a stigma of like being for kids, but I have a lot of comics that are graphic novels that are they're not super long and super thick, but they give a good story and they have nothing to do with superheroes. So I would almost tell you to just try something like that out. And then, because even me, like picking up a novel, it's almost like I'll get like part of the way through and I'm just like, this is way too much type, or the pictures that, I've just kind of gotten, I think everybody, our society in general has kind of gotten.
We're used to things quick and fast and action and a lot of movements and stuff like that.
And a lot, I mean pictures, look at newspapers, there's probably more pictures in there than words now. And newspapers. Let's just talk about online, like you look at like the NewYorkTimes.com or something. It's not just all words. They do like pictures.
A lot
and stuff.
of visual aids.
Yeah, it's because we're hit with so many advertisements every single day, every second of our life. We're kind of just used to being bombarded.
Our mind is automatically immune to advertisement. We see something that even resembles an advertisement, and we just kind of almost ignore it, unless it's something that we're actually into.
I think what happens is it gets pushed right to the back of our mind, and then if there's a point where we need it, it will just come up automatically. Excuse me, that was burp. Gary didn't say burp, but that was burp.
That's getting cut out, right?
No, I'm gonna leave that in.
Okay.
Because we're raw. We raw dog it like that.
That's why we cut this podcast in at all.
Yeah.
Mr. Raw Dog.
But
that was pretty good. We went for like 10 minutes without like all serious and no jokes, nothing.
Yeah, there was nothing about a radio either. It was pretty awesome. So.
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, on the last podcast on episode 11.
12.
We're on 12 right now.
No, we're on 13. You said 13 at the beginning of the show.
I know. I was just making sure you guys were paying attention.
Of course.
So on the episode 12, which was last podcast, I was talking about a little situation that I was having in the office, and the situation still kind of exists, but I just kind of decided. See what you started?
I know.
I just decided to kind of just go with the flow a little more, but I'm still not 100% happy, and I'll keep you guys informed about it. But I'm probably gonna stop talking about this now because I talked about it a lot last time.
All right, cool. What else have you been up to this week?
Cameron didn't like that too much.
What else have you been up to this week?
I landed a few new clients.
Oh, cool. Because you're off for 2 weeks, right? From your normal work.
No, it's like on and off. I have different things. Like tomorrow I'm going in the office.
Oh, okay.
And a couple other times I'll be going. But yeah, it's a little bit less than normal. But it's kind of up to me. It's being really flexible.
Good.
And I just have a few other things going on. Like my friend came back from India, my developer friend.
Oh,
so we're doing all that stuff again. And he's got a couple other things going on as well. We're talking about that. It's all still like in the negotiation part. We're doing like a coffee app.
Oh yeah,
for Android. That's
started talking about that, yeah. Cool.
That's still on the process, and we're working on the bike side together as well.
Awesome. Well, that's good.
Yeah. So with that, I had like a layout that I did. I don't want to go too far on it, so I just did like to a certain point, and then it's for one of his clients, but I'm just doing all the design, and he's doing the development. I might have mentioned this, but so the guy liked it. He pretty much liked the design that I was going with, and he just had a few suggestions. So I'm going to modify a few things and go that direction. So, but I purposely didn't do too much on it because I didn't want to go too far with it and him not liking it.
Oh, I got
But we had like a whole whiteboard that we drew stuff on and planned all these different things, and like as far as hierarchy and layout and all that stuff, and user experience.
All right.
But speaking of user experience, I possibly got another client today, like a pretty good one. I'm pretty excited about that one. Actually, really excited. And I signed all these non-disclosures and stuff, so I'm gonna try to talk about it in a fairly hidden way. But it's also like user experience and UI stuff. Yeah. They have like a whole back end thing that already exists, and they're upgrading it to a version 2.0, and we were there for probably like 2 hours today talking about all these different things. So I talked to the lead developer and operation manager, I think the other guy was. So it was two of us, and also there was another person as well, all with just different ideas. So it was 4 of us in the office talking about different things.
Oh, that's cool.
So what I'll be doing is I'll be figuring out. So everything is kind of like really, really raw. The developer just has everything kind of made already, or for the most part, maybe like 60-70%. So I'll be going in and just modifying everything, the design part of the CSS part, and just laying that out and making everything really, really into a pleasant experience. That's kind of my job with that.
Oh,
and
cool.
That sounds like really, really fun. I'm very excited about that, actually.
Well, good.
Really
and you got that already, or you're not sure?
I got it, and right now they just told me to figure out what my time frame will be with that. So it's like, in my mind, I pretty much got it, but
it's still a little up in the air.
It's still a little bit up in the air because we have to figure out the time. I have to tell them the time frame, but they mentioned to me that they talked to multiple people and they like me very much, and they talked to me for hours. It's like, and I signed a non-disclosure thing already, 2 different non-disclosures.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of paperwork. So I don't think that process. Usually, when in the past when I've had clients in different situations, we usually wouldn't go through all this process. It's always worked out at that process. So.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yeah,
cool,
so it's pretty exciting. I like that.
Works out.
Yeah.
So you picked up those clients. Anything else going on?
Yeah, I did. I had another thing. It's kind of more of a smaller thing. It's a unique situation. I haven't had that before, but like a previous client that I did stuff for, I did like an XXL spread for them. It was like P. Diddy was in it. And I had like another famous DJ. But I've done 2 spreads for them before in the past, and for that same company now they wanted like a certificate of authenticity design. Have you heard of those? What those are?
Yeah, well, those are what you get. I didn't. So you're designing one of those? That seems a little odd.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's not like, I'm just designing a spread or I'm designing a banner. No, it's like a unique thing.
So are you designing it like where it's going to be foiled and like...
Exactly. We have to tell them like what kind of paper to use and what kind of...
That's kind of actually awesome.
I don't know.
That might be fun.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we both went to a print school.
Yeah, we learned different things about print and web a little bit as well. So
yeah.
But yeah, I haven't done too much print for a while. All the stuff that we learned about print, it's still fundamental stuff of design. We're still using it for all the stuff that we're doing now. It's not like you learn It's not like you learn how to be a plumber and then you become a professional basketball player, so you can't be a plumber. It's like still connected big time.
Oh yeah, of course it is. I mean, obviously layout and all that stuff, but I just mean like when you get to the technical side where you're like,
that stuff isn't
separating
too much.
it.
Yeah, that stuff is not connected too much.
Yeah, that's the thing that's difficult.
Debossing, embossing, all that stuff. It's not really relevant to web stuff or multimedia.
Yeah, so and also like the whole like color choosing thing. When we do web colors, you just choose it, and if it doesn't work, then you just change it to something else.
There are issues though. Sorry to interrupt you. There are issues when you're exporting stuff out, like in Photoshop, the color spacing and stuff, it changes as well.
I've noticed that too.
So that's a little bothersome. And there's some situations where it's almost unsolvable. So you just have to export it out and then see the difference and then modify it. It's like there's some weird issues.
Too.
Yeah.
I've been having some flash banners this week that I've had to do that, like, for some reason.
The colors will be off, like you're doing a red and it's a little bit off from the red that you wanted or something, right?
Yeah, or like shadows will alias and stuff in areas that they shouldn't be, and then I have to go in and like change. So it's a lot of stuff like that. I've been doing a lot of flash past like couple weeks, so.
Man, flasher, nice.
It's kind of cool, dude. I have my trench coat. That's how I roll. but yeah, so that's cool, man. Authenticity and.
Oh yeah, so for this client I'm doing that. So I basically got they want something kind of fairly fancy and a little bit, it's simple, and it's it's like I think it's 8.5 by 11. They said a standard page size.
Okay.
I think so. Certificate authenticity, in my understanding, what it is, because I used to collect basketball cards as a kid. So you would have like let's say there's a basketball card that exists and there's only 2,000 of them in existence. Then you have a certificate of authenticity, which explains, hey, this is 199 out of 2,000. So there's however many more of them. So it's like authentic. It makes something authentic, right? I believe.
Yeah, and also the number, the lower the number, the higher in value it is. So if you have like one, that's what that's why like when our friend David started doing those prints, I told him to number all of them, because then, even though it was kind of fake, because you're supposed to number them as they come off the press, so then you see that like when it comes off the press, it's like, oh, this is the first one that came out. That one's more valuable because it's the very first print versus like the 20th print or the 40th print.
That makes sense what you're saying. I haven't heard of that, but yeah, that's what the certificate of authenticity is. You see, we really didn't have too many things to talk about on this podcast, and now it's ended up being like super informative.
Yeah, I know.
It feels like it is, and I still have more stuff.
Well, it's cool, man. Good. We'll just keep going for now. I mean, we've only been going for maybe like 15 minutes.
It's been longer.
Look at the iPhone. 15 minutes.
Look, it just turned 16, so that makes you extremely
Sweet 16.
wrong.
The show is Sweet 16. So now we gotta have.
You see, I'm not the
Mazel tov.
I'm not the only one with bad jokes.
No, I know, of course.
Or bad breath. No, that's cool, man.
I do have bad breath. I know that.
I'm just kidding.
It's fine. They can't smell it. Only you. So you just have to suffer through it.
Yeah, so we're like around like Hanukkah and Christmas and all that stuff right now. So we have like a Christmas tree behind us and all this different stuff.
There's a lot of crazy stuff going on. We didn't record last week because I had something that was going on at work, and there's been holiday parties and all kinds of stuff that we've been going to. So we've been a little bit busy. So.
Yeah, both of us have had different things. I went to Vegas this weekend.
Yeah, you didn't really tell me what.
Yeah, it was a friend of mine's birthday.
Oh, cool.
So it's almost like a last minute thing, and I didn't visit my mom though. I probably should have.
Yeah, you probably should, but you saw her for Thanksgiving at least. That's good.
Yeah, I did.
So, I mean, that gives you kind of a pass.
And in Vegas, we usually hang out and we stay up super late, and then like you wake up on Saturday and just like, oh, you don't do anything. You're just like kind of lazy. You just want to drink water and watch TV. And we stay like in a suite where there was a big screen projector, which was so awesome. I love projectors. I am thinking about possibly doing something with possibly. I used to have a projector back in the days before they were even popular. In 2001, I had a big projector in the room, and my friends and stuff used to come over to watch. We'd watch all the fights and all that stuff.
That's cool.
But now it's almost like a normal thing. It's possible with this distance that we have here.
I just don't know if it's.
I'm probably not gonna. It is the way they have it, and the new projectors. You don't even have to be too far, even 5 or 6 feet. Yeah.
Okay.
These new ones are popular, and they're like whatever 3,000-4,000 lumens. That's the brightness of the lamp. Those lamps are pretty expensive too.
All right. Well,
yeah. So
it's up to you if you want to. We have this entertainment center.
Probably not. Probably not.
Get rid of
That'll
all
probably
that
be
stuff.
my next.
The next place.
The next place.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Possibly. I'm thinking about a few different ideas. Plus, see, if I haven't done that in my past before, I probably would have done it. But it's because it's like I kind of been there, done that. I did the projector thing, and there was negatives and positive things about it.
Yeah.
But see, back then the technology wasn't as good as it is now. Actually, and the way I got that projector. I had a at that time, which was like 10, 11 years ago, I had a Sony Vaio laptop, which I got a pretty good deal from my friend, and I found some guy that was selling a projector on Craigslist, and I went to his house, and he was selling it, and I ended up trading for the laptop, swapping it, and he included the screen too. It was like a big bright screen.
Oh, that's very interesting.
Yeah, like I always mention, I'm always involved with Craigslist big time. Like more than half of my life, all has to do with Craigslist, whether it's this or whether it's that. I love Craigslist.
Did you get your phone on Craigslist?
No, the phone I didn't because with contract, it's not worth it to do a phone.
That's what I figured. I just wondering.
Yeah, all the companies, AT&T and Sprint and Verizon, they pay for you. You do a 2-year contract. So like when you're getting your phone for whatever $300-$400, it's really like whatever. It's like $1,000 or whatever it is. So the companies pay the difference, so you stay with that particular company.
Exactly.
I think that's how it works.
Yeah, it's something like that. I thought they factored it into your bill too. So those 2 years, they factor like $400 over those 2 years, and it just adds like a couple dollars to your bill every month or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but I think it's something like that.
That's why you usually get a good deal when you do the 2-year contracts, and that's what most companies do. They do those 2 years.
Yeah. Well,
and while the whole time we were in the hotel for the Vegas thing, there was no reception. Nobody had reception, whether you're Verizon, Sprint, whatever. They purposely block reception, so you have to get their service. This is just my assumption. Because normally in any hotels, you're not getting any reception at all. And as soon as you go downstairs, boop, you get perfect reception.
Huh. I haven't stayed in a hotel in almost over a year, so that could be, it could be true.
You were staying in hotels when you were coming to LA for the interviews and all that.
Yeah, but those hotels weren't like Vegas
exactly,
hotels.
That's
the thing that I think is different, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't think I've stayed in a Vegas hotel since I was like really little. So
the Vegas thing was pretty cool. I had a good time. I had a blast.
Good. I saw you ate Mambas next to the desert.
Oh, I always do that. Mamba's my favorite candy. In junior high, they sold that candy. It was like 50 cents for the pack, and now it's $1.79. But they're still so good. And I don't even have dental.
That's not good, man.
But yeah, I love Mambas. And so I take pictures and post them up as I'm eating them.
Oh, that's cool, man. Well, I guess since we're on that topic, we might as well talk about Path.
Oh yeah, Path.
I think the app's been out longer. Like I said, it was a couple weeks, but There's a couple, because I have Path. You don't have Path right now.
I don't have Path right now.
But I have Path, and there's some people that I'm friends with that actually have had Path, because on your Path, if you look on your phone, you see how long they've had it and how many moments they've done in it. And, like, I've had it for, like, 3 weeks, and I've had, like, 200 moments or something. But there's one of my friends from work that it shows him having it for a year. So I think he was in the beta for it. I haven't talked to him specifically about it.
I am positive it didn't exist a year ago. I believe it came out maybe a few weeks ago, a month ago. That's from my.
But that's why I think he might have been in the beta or something.
Yeah, from that point it makes sense.
But what Path basically is it's like a central hub for a lot of social networking. So Facebook, Twitter, Foursquare, and there's another one that I'm missing. Facebook, Twitter, Foursquare, Tumblr.
Yeah, that's the one I couldn't think of too.
Yeah. So I use it primarily for checking in places. Well, let's break it down. So it's that social network hub. The thing also is what it does. Anyone that you're friends with on Path has a Path, and you can visit their Path and see what they're doing and everything, posts like that. But it's cool. It has a built-in camera thing, so it basically integrates Instagram into this app.
So you can add interesting filters to your pictures and make them look like vintage and all that type of stuff.
Yeah, and then also there's a built-in thing, which I don't know if this exists anywhere else on a phone, is instant video posting, where you take a video and it automatically posts to multiple places as a video. I don't know exactly how it does it because I haven't done one of those yet, but...
You should try it out and let our people
I might try it out, I just haven't found the right moment.
Right,
so.
And the interface is amazing.
Yeah, dude.
So it's a beautiful interface. These guys they didn't just take something and throw it real fast. Yeah. This is something that obviously was worked on, was thought about.
Yeah.
So as designers, we look at stuff like that and appreciate it big time.
Yeah, one of the things that's really interesting about it too is you can't access Path. You can access it on like a desktop, but you can't actually do anything on it. All you can do is just see people's thing, which I thought was interesting because the image. Another thing is they have this concept of an avatar image, like your normal image of like what you look like or whatever, and then they have this cover image, which is really cool. What the cover image is basically you take a photo of something, and it's basically your background on your thing, so people can kind of see. So people change those every day and stuff like that. Mine, it's just like a mug that says interactive, and then you see my little Smurfs toy in the background. So it's like it's me at my desk. But I thought that was an interesting concept because if you go onto the web,
do you have a Smurfs toy in your office?
I have a couple Smurfs toys, dude. They give them out for free, so I have them.
Wow, free's a good deal.
And I also have a bunch of new shirts because they were handing out shirts. They were going shirt crazy the other day.
I'm extra large, by the way.
Oh, sorry, I only got larges on this. But yeah, one of them is extremely explicit. I can't even say on this podcast what it actually says on it. So
because high schools listen to the show.
Yeah. Did you just say what I think you just said?
I said because high schools listen to the show.
Oh, show. Okay, I thought you said a different word. Gotcha. I thought you said shoot. So that's totally
cool.
But yeah, the cover image thing is, I think, cool just because it's like everyone has a different one. Everyone that I've gone onto, like, they change it randomly. And I just think, for some reason, that's a cool feature to me. I don't know why.
It is a cool feature.
And then there's also, on there, they also have built in so you can post where you're at, obviously, and who you're with. That's what I think is a really big thing, is it pulls your contacts on your phone and contacts from Facebook and contacts that you actually have on Path. You can actually just automatically, just like one button click.
And it's all seamless and it's all very easy, right? It's super simple. Just
everything is super simple.
It's not hard stuff to find. It's all all the complex stuff about it is all hidden. So you're right to the easy stuff, just like Apple does.
Yeah, it's just everything's super clean and it's a really good app. There's even like posting what music you're listening to, and then if you search, it searches like through some music database that has absolutely everything. So I searched my friend that is a rapper in Vegas, and I searched him, and he came up on there because I was listening to one of his albums. I just thought that was really crazy. That
I believe you can buy music on there as well through them.
Oh yeah,
something like that. I am not positive, but I read something like that. And also, how else do they make money? The filters, when you take pictures, there's some filters that you can purchase.
Yeah.
It's another way. Because you're thinking, like, all these cool things and this and that, but how are they making revenue? So it's those little things.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some Google thing involved in it, too, with searching, because there's a lot of searching that goes involved in it.
Yeah, with Google.
So I'm sure, but definitely, if you haven't checked it out yet, I would definitely check out Path. Just path.com if you want to look at what it kind of is, even though you can't really do much except for download the app, or just search it in the App Store on
iTunes. You guys could just read about it. I believe it has 4 3/4 of a star. So the ratings is extremely high. Obviously, people, the things that we're saying, people agree with us. So because everybody likes it as far as review goes. Yeah,
and it seems like more and more people are getting onto it, and it's funny because there's actually people on Twitter are now like adding me. Like I have a lot of people that I follow on Twitter, but they don't really follow me, and there are a lot of like professional illustrators and stuff. And today a couple of them actually started following me on Path, and I just was like, really, it was like, why are they following me? And it's just because that's mostly what my posts are now, from Path. Every time I go to lunch, I take a picture and I post who I'm with and blah 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 and do that.
Yeah, you're really into it. And you also started hanging out with like a lot of your coworkers more and stuff, and going to bars and stuff.
You know, when we went out to a bar, me, you, and a bunch of people. We went out to a bar, and you guys invited me. And at first I was like, nah, and then I started thinking I could use Path though, so that's why I did it. I went out just to use Path because we drink every once in a while, and so I like to keep track of like what we eat and what we drink.
So you know if you're cool to drive and stuff.
No,
yeah, that's the reason.
Yeah, that's the exact reason. No, it's mainly just because there's a big beer culture out here in LA that I've recently realized, and so like what I'm drinking really matters. So I post something on Facebook, and people will actually respond to it, being like, "Oh, it's a bad beer. That's a good beer," or something like that.
So you see their taste based on the stuff you're doing too.
Yeah. So and I really like putting myself out there now, like in that fashion where people are getting to know like me on those, because normally I don't really like post like, hey, this is what I'm doing. So this is easy because it's just like take a picture and this is where I'm at. So
you just took a picture right now, right before we started recording too, right?
Yeah, I did. I posted on Path and I said recording episode 13 of the StudioDork Podcast, and it was a picture of Gary holding up both of our iPads.
Yeah.
And people aren't gonna understand because they would imagine that we're probably sitting here with mics, but we don't have mics because we do it with our iPhone.
They're like, what are they doing? And why is there like a table with
and
nothing
a Christmas
on?
tree
And a Christmas tree, because this podcast is probably gonna come out like around Valentine's Day, and there's a Christmas tree on Valentine's Day.
Yeah. No, because the new site's gonna launch.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah, well, you want to get into that, or do you not want to get into that?
Oh, so frustrating. Yeah, like, so as we mentioned, we're changing all our stuff and doing all the stuff, and so the developers working with the developers that are in a different country. It's been nightmarish dealing with them, because there's all these things, and we tell them to change something, and they change the design, they change like one thing, and 10 other things, not 10, but a couple other things get messed up, and then you have to tell them about those other things, and then more things get messed up, and it takes like a day for them to respond, because we're on different time
because
zones. Yeah.
This is what we think. We think that this company outsources their outsourcing.
Yeah, so they're like, they're a company in America, they're outsourcing another company in Europe, and that company in Europe is outsourcing to other developers wherever they are. Might be in India or something like that.
Yeah, so we're having a lot of trouble just because, well, you're having most trouble because you're talking to them on the phone.
But then you got to deal with me, so you're having trouble too.
Yeah, we put up our we got our theme the other day or yesterday, and we set up a local server just to see how it was working, and it's like totally different. And so we might be breaking out and just letting them.
Yeah, we're just letting them take care of everything. They're gonna try to figure out a quote and all this other stuff. So more, we've already paid like a pretty good amount. Just like, so basically, our recommendation to you guys is, if you're gonna do, I think this type of place that we're using, it's good to do like just where it's just like one page, but where it's like really, really custom, and especially for like somebody like me, I'm really, really picky, and I need things to be a particular way, and if it's like a little bit off, then it doesn't work for me. I need it to be exactly a specific way, especially if it's something for, StudioDork.com. This is pretty much half of our lives is invested in this website, so we need it to be a specific way. It's very important for us. So when it's something like that, we're both recommending for you guys to not go through a route where you're outsourcing it to like a different country. It's better to find somebody local, somebody you can deal with and talk to, even if you have to pay a little bit more for something like that. And it's totally worth it. It makes sense to do it that way. So in the future, when we do version 3.0, we're definitely not going to outsource or anything. We're going to like I have my developer friend, I have another developer. I should have done that.
Well, that's the thing. This is what I would say. I would say that we were kind of in a rush to get this new site up. Kind of. Like, you were designing it, and I was actually more in a rush than you were. I just wanted it to be up so that we could start promoting a little more. But I think that if we weren't in such a rush, now that this version will be up, once this goes up, then at least we'll be able to actually wait and plan it with your developer guy. So then he'll actually have an open window. We kind of just jumped into it, and you didn't really have him as a friend originally, and so now you're friends with him. So
yeah, exactly.
So definitely next time it will be a lot easier. But 3.0 probably won't go up till like the year like 2025 or something like that. So
if it still exists, Daily Inspiration 3,000.
I know, dude. Well, we got to catch up to Abazito.
We do.
Yeah,
those Brazilians.
Portuguese, which is Brazil.
This awkward moment is brought to you in part by iPad 3, coming out in March probably.
And ice cream sandwiches.
Diet ones or regular?
Ice cream sandwiches. Diet.
Yes, guys, we're corny, and we don't care.
You haven't heard that show yet.
No.
That's the show, yeah. I think it was episode 7. So it was this week's show. It just came out, episode 7.
Ice cream sandwiches?
Yeah, I did.
You added a little
No. During it, we did a commercial for ice cream sandwiches and
I don't even remember. We did?
Yeah, you said activity, and then randomly we were doing radio voices, and then I went...
What?
And then we were like, you said, we'll be right back, and I was like...
I thought last episode was, like, really depressing and stuff.
No, that's episode 12. Well, I'm talking about episode 7. I'm talking about the one that
So we just admitted in this episode that our last episode, but they won't know until they already heard it, so it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. So
are we going all over the place?
We're already
we don't care.
Place, yeah. Have we even gotten into any of your topics? Because we went in a path, which we both kind of agreed that we were going to do that.
My topics were more like Plan B, Plan C situations. These are we've done good. Are you checking the time on that?
Yeah, I was just checking to make sure, see what we're rocking.
It's not 15 minutes.
No, I know. Why you gotta do that all crazy?
Because you said 15 minutes when it was clearly 15 minutes and 58 seconds.
Okay, well now it's 30 minutes, but
yeah, I did talk about a lot of my topics.
Okay, well I've got a couple other ones that we could talk about just to kind of wrap it up. Really quick. So, did you hear about Apple? They actually just bought this company called Anabit. It's a flash storage maker. And all I really want to talk, they bought it for $500 million, and they're setting up a new R&D lab in Israel with this company. And I just wanted to kind of get your opinion. What do you think about the flash storage thing that's going on?
Tell me a little bit, or tell our listeners a little bit about
Well, flash storage is more like normal hard drives and stuff. What they run with disks in them, right?
Yeah.
So they make them a little more fallible, so they're able to break down easier.
Exactly.
So, and they also run slower because it's got to spin the disks and all that stuff like that. Well, flash storage, what it is basically it's solid state. So it's basically what you have in a flash drive, but yeah, exactly. So the new MacBook Airs have flash storage in them.
It's probably one of the first laptops, right? Or it's the first Apple product. There might be some other ones that did that, but yeah.
Yeah, so now this shows that Apple is making a huge push for flash storage, which is really smart because it's super, super faster, especially for video.
Way faster.
Yeah, video is like a big deal with it. So
it's almost instantaneous, actually. You open it up and it goes on right away. For my testings.
Yeah, that's what, I remember at Macworld last year, that there was a company there selling solid state drives, like where they would upgrade your MacBook to have a solid state drive in it. And one of the tests that they did where they would turn on the Mac with all of CS5 opening at the same time as it's turning on, and to see which one went faster, one with the solid state, one with the normal, and the solid state one.
Opening up all Illustrator, Photoshop.
Yeah, so basically what they had done is it would open. Yeah, and what it did was that one came on 2 minutes before the other one did, and they were both doing the same exact thing. So it shows like that's a huge upgrade in
it's good for resources.
Exactly, yeah. So I just want to get your what do you think on flash storage? Do you think it's a good move, or?
In most situations, from my experience, unlike Google, where Google just tries all these different things, Google is a master and they're super positive. There's a lot of really good stuff about them. But they just try all these different things, and some stuff fails and some stuff succeeds big time.
Yeah.
With Apple, usually everything they do is almost success. Pretty much everything.
It does feel like they plan everything out to the T.
Yeah, and keep everything super hidden. Nobody knows about anything, what's going to happen. There's rumors, there's speculations, and which is part of their marketing and branding, in my opinion. I think they like having rumors and making people anticipate and not really know exactly what's going on. And so just without me even having an opinion, just from Apple doing it, most likely it's going to be success.
Yeah.
But obviously, if it's something that's loading way faster than a regular hard disk, also there's a term called I'm not real technical. Have you heard of a SCSI?
SCSI drive.
Those are fast too, right? Normal hard drives are 5400 RPM or
7200.
No, 7200. There's 5400 and then there's 7200.
Yeah, the two speeds.
Those are
usually, like average. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the SCSI is like way faster, but I'm not sure about the.
But I don't think they have. I don't think they put SCSIs into laptops.
I
think it's only towers.
Yeah. So with these drives, obviously, if they're faster and everything, there's a lot of different things. Files are bigger. A lot of stuff is Blu-ray and HD and 1080p and all that stuff. So obviously, it's obviously a good thing. Move. Yeah. Good topic, by the way, to bring this up. That was a good
But also, I also want to bring up one more thing on this topic was. At what point? Because Apple buys up a ton of stuff, and they're buying up all these technology companies and stuff. So they just bought Surrey and all this stuff like that. So what do you think? At what point do we consider Apple to be a monopoly in the technology?
That's not for us to decide. That's for
I know, but I'm saying like us personally, as I know that we love Apple and everything, but at what point do you think that the government needs to step in and break it up? Because people are saying that with Google and Facebook, that with all the information that's going out and stuff like that, that they think that they should start breaking that stuff up, but the government hasn't deemed that yet, so.
I guess when they start buying on like literally everything, when it starts being like cars, starts being light bulbs, electricity, all that stuff, probably, I don't know. This is just my opinion. But as far as like all the stuff that they come up with and all the products and all the, it only improves my life. There's no negatives about it at all. It's all positive for me.
Until they make robots.
Until they make robots that clean my room for me in dust.
And then turn on you because you've seen the movie I, Robot. Come on.
Because what?
Because you've seen the movie I, Robot, where all the movie... Have you seen that movie?
You know, I think the book... I'm not positive on this, but...
I've heard the book's better.
No, but the book... There's a book, the original book, and they came out with the word robot, and that's where robot came from. Something like that. I don't know.
I think that was I, Robot.
Was it?
I'm pretty sure.
The original book.
The book that movie's based off, which I think is called something like...
But it's like from the 30s or something,
I think it's
from a long
Do
time
Robots
ago.
Dream of Sheep or something like that.
But I mean, like, the word robot came from that book. And how we all use the word robot, it's like from that book. I heard that somewhere.
I think the book is called something like Do Machines Dream of Sleep or something, or of Sheep.
No,
but like that.
Wait, but the book I, Robot, it's not like the movie I Wrote. You're talking about the one where, like, I think Will Smith is in it?
Yeah.
I think it's a completely different story. They just use the same, I think.
No, I think I, Robot is based, like, the screenplay is based off of the book that you're talking about. I'm pretty sure it's something like that, because I remember
that. Do more research about the stuff we talk about, especially me.
No, that's cool. But I guess we'll just pull it back into, we're still in tech, we're going to be in tech till the end. But I just wanted to touch on this. So there was this article on Wired that they were talking about ebooks and how libraries are now getting into technology to lend out ebooks. So basically you would go to lalibrary.com and you would just be able to get books onto your e-reader. And the one thing that I really wanted to talk about was basically just like, do you think that's a possible technology that is like substantial? Like, I think people will use it, but... Big
time, yes, I do believe. Because it's so much easier. Instead of carrying all these different books, you just you have everything right on your Kindle or your iPad or wherever.
But the other question I have is how long before people will decide they're going to totally exploit it?
Eventually everyone's gonna forget books. Right now, it's more of the older generations that are keeping like that. They're just used to, like, for example, like my dad. My dad is not really old. He's not super old. He's like in his early 50s or something like that. But he loves having a book. He loves taking it and being. He likes using a regular map when he's going somewhere. Look at the thing and mark where he's going and doing all that stuff. So basically, we're all like creatures of habits in most situations. I do know a couple people that are way older, like in their 70s and all that stuff, that have an iPhone, they check into places, and they do all this stuff. That's really cool. But at the same time, it's fairly rare. So
yeah. I understand. Yeah, I totally agree, too. I think that, like, I've tried to switch all over to E stuff, where, like, I tried to switch all my comics over to E, but there's something about it that just feels like... There's something about it that just doesn't feel right. Like, I do like having a book. Like, I like having a physical book. That's why I have a shop.
And it has a smell and all that stuff, too. It feels like a real thing.
Yeah.
But the next generation after us or whatever, the next people, they're not gonna probably have books or anything like that. Everything's gonna be like probably holograms or something.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure that every kid. I mean, they're already doing like. My aunt is a teacher in Palm Springs, and she said that in her classroom they're getting ready to instill this thing where every kid there's gonna be iPads for every kid in their school. Nice. She teaches at like a religious school, but. So it's just like it's a smaller private school, but it just makes sense. Like before you know it, iPads are gonna be so cheap that.
Yeah, exactly. And then even like the design school that me and you attended and went to, the last quarter they were planning. The quarter after ours, they were planning already having everything on ebooks and all that stuff.
Yeah, they had just started doing that.
So they were just preparing for that.
But that was weird with that because like you had to pay for renting it, and then when you rented it, it made it so you could only print out so many pages. It's
the beginning of it. They're just trying to probably figure it out or whatever.
I think that it's gonna be. I think we've still got at least 5 years before it goes all completely. Like you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of issues with it still with technology.
And probably like places like Japan and countries like that, they're 3 years in front of us.
Yeah.
Right, something like that. Like
Japan, they're
in front of us. They have all this. They're using cell phones, credit cards, and whatever. I don't know, doing all this crazy stuff.
It's because I feel like it's because like in America, if someone sees value in it, like a company sees value in it, like the first iPhone. Oh, I picked up the iPhone I was recording. The first iPhone actually. It's like it had a camera that was really low, but they could have put like a 13 megapixel camera in there because in Japan they already had that.
Yeah.
And I think it's because they were like, well, why would we give them that when we can just make a new version a year later that has a little bit higher?
Exactly.
And they're trying longevity versus...
There's multiple reasons for that. What you're saying is factual and true, or that it's possibly true and stuff. But at the same time, also it's like we're using those other countries or other places who are possibly ahead of us by a little bit, almost as beta testers. Let's have them try it out and see how it goes. And if they like it and it's working out, then we'll bring it to our country.
That's why the Toto toilets, the toilets that are made, you know what Toto is, right? Toto toilets.
Doesn't sound very, like it would smell very good.
No, dude, these are the best toilets. These are the toilets that
are they comfortable and soft?
These are the toilets that, because I worked in the plumbing industry for a while, like when I was growing up.
So you were Mario or Luigi?
I was totally Mario plus Luigi because I had green pants and a red shirt, so maybe Mario and Luigi.
But the pants didn't come green, they became that way after you were done with the job, right?
Yeah, exactly. So there's these toilets called Toto toilets. The company name is Toto. They're based out of Japan. And what these toilets are actually, there's technology built within them. So the seats are all warming seats. The toilet talks to you, so like if you get up and you flush the toilet, it'll tell you if it's clogged, a bunch of stuff like that. And these are like really, really expensive toilets. And if you go to like casinos, I'm getting really into toilets, but if you go to the casinos in Vegas, all of their urinals are usually Toto urinals because they have the best sensors in them, which seems, I know I'm getting really crazy with it, but this is tech in toilets. Best part, okay?
StudioDorks.
But let me get into the reason why I bring this up. The reason I bring this up is because when I worked, this is probably 5 years ago when I worked in one of the plumbing companies, they actually did a recall on all the Toto toilets that we had. It was because they started exploding in Japan.
What?
Because there was so much electronics in it with the water and everything, and so I guess they started having all these issues. Yeah,
like I'm saying, the
beta testing. So you're right, and that's
it's just logically. Also, in video games, I used to work for a video game place, as you did as well, but we completely not at the same time.
Totally different generations.
So at that time, this was around the time when PS2 first came out, and like when a game would come out, it would come out in Japan first, maybe like 5 or 6 months, not 3 years before, but something like that, like 5 or 6 months. So a lot of like really, really hardcore gamers, if that's the right terminology.
They would import it.
Yeah, they would get like an import version of PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 2, and then they would just get the Japanese versions of the game so they can have them first.
Yeah, they do that now. Like there's certain Microsoft games, since Microsoft is based in the U.S., that they come out here first, and then they find out that people are actually importing from here to there.
Oh, okay.
So because a lot of these games aren't region locked anymore. Yeah. But it's just, the language barrier thing. So but it still happens. And Japan is actually, to get into games a little bit, Japan actually, there are games out there like the Yakuza series. I've never played it, but they're already up to like...
You don't have to lie to kick it.
No. I don't have to lie to kick it, dude. I'm totally just kicking it. But... No, the Yakuza series, as far as I know, they're on Yakuza 6 over there, and we've only had 3 released out here. And it's because they do them a couple years behind, and I don't know the exact reason, but there's a lot of games like that out there. And plus, out there, there's just like a weird culture for games that, like games are not revered for slackers and stuff out there as much, unless you're an arcade gamer. Out here, it's like, if you play video games...
You're like a losers only.
But not as much anymore.
Yeah, but it used to be like that. Yeah. Much. A lot of girls are getting into video games, too.
Yeah, totally. Like, I think last year was when the report came out. There was like a report that came out that said that 42% of gamers now are girls, which is... that's a total credit to Nintendo, most likely, because of the Wii.
Yeah, where they would like work out and stuff like that.
Yeah, and not even that, just the fact that, because now people, they see the motion controls and they're like, oh, now I'm not sitting down, I'm not a couch potato.
More interactive.
Now I'm like up and jumping around, so it seems like now I'm not, lazy.
So also when I work with like doing stuff with video games, it was like pretty much three types of games or 3 types of regions, I guess you would say. So it was a Japanese and an American, and you had European.
Yeah.
Is that how it was when you did as well?
It kind of is like that, but
and some European stuff also had like some stuff in PAL. You familiar with what that is?
PAL?
Yeah, you have NTSC.
Oh,
and you have PAL.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So it would be like a different...
I think there's 12 regions now.
12?
When there's stuff that's locked, you can see on the side of some PS3 games are still region locked. If you see there's a number on the side, like a little globe, ours will always show 1 because we're region 1. But I'm pretty sure there's something like 12 or 13 now. So I don't know exactly what that breaks up, but I know Australia is one, and it's because Australia, they're super hard on violence in video games. There's a lot of games that are super violent around the world that they have to be released differently in Australia, where like there's no blood, no gore, or anything. Like Left 4 Dead's a good example. Like there's this bomb in the game that you can blow up all these zombies, but the Australian version, when you throw the bomb and it blows up, they just disappear.
The blood is just water.
No, there's no blood at all. There's no...
Yeah,
and it's just funny because...
Speaking of Australia, two of our pretty cool friends from...
Yeah, they just got there today, or yesterday.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah? Well,
a little bit. I want to go to Australia.
Let's go right now.
But I don't know. I don't have enough gas.
You don't have gas to get there? Oh, okay, well, we still have to design the boat that will let us drive on a treadmill that will drive the boat so that it will go, so then we can just do it that way. But it has to have a gas station built in.
Should we do that in HTML5 or jQuery?
Let's do HTML6 with CSS7. Might be just a little bit better, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
In WordPress or Joomba? We have to add some stupid comments.
Like,
this show has been so serious.
Can we use Drupal?
This show has been one of our most serious shows.
I know, well, we got a lot of good topics, so...
I don't like that. We need to do bad topics so people can listen to what they're used to.
Well, do you have any bad topics?
So a guy walks in a bar. No, I don't know. I have not.
In a wheelchair again? You gonna tell that joke again? This is
Did I say that?
Third time.
Not to our public. Not to all 4 or 5 of them. Or whatever.
By the time they listen, this is third time. But yeah, so I think we're pretty much done.
We are. We should tell them like the Twitter and the stuff.
Okay.
Thing.
So we're on the Facebooks and the Twitters.
We are.
So
plural.
If you have any questions or any concerns, or you just want to give us feedback or anything at all, you just want to talk to us, you can always contact us on Facebook at facebook.com/StudioDork, or you can go and find us on Twitter, and that's at StudioDork. And then we also have an email. We have a contact form on the site. You can fill out that if you'd like to. That's in the contact section of the site. Or if you don't really like contact forms, you can always contact us at studiodork@gmail.com. And then also on iTunes, rate us on iTunes, because we need those for feedback and all kinds of stuff, and also just to get traction to the podcast and to the site itself. So I would just say 1 to 5 stars, whatever you want to give us, but we prefer 5 stars over everything. Definitely check out the site. That's pretty much it on that one.
Guys, also, at that time that you guys are listening to this podcast, hopefully our new site is going to be up already. I really, really hope so much.
Yeah.
But if it's not, I'm sorry. But if it is, also on the new site, there's going to be some, Google Plus or on Facebook. So you guys, that should be very easily reachable right there, just on the page on the sidebar if the new site is up.
Yeah, definitely check. Yeah, do that, and then also
there should be share. They should have those share buttons for Twitter and for Facebook as well. You could just share the links if you like any particular post that we're putting up there, so that all that stuff is there for your convenience.
And if you really like us and the new site is up, there's a donation section on the site now.
Oh, but we don't want to tell them that it's that. They're just buying us coffee.
Yeah, it's donation to get us coffee, because we drink a ton of coffee. We do. 2 guys running that crazy site. It's gotta. Yeah,
there's a little thing on there. See, now we sound like beggars.
No, that's why all I was going to say was, if you really, really like us and you don't want to comment on anything, you just send us a little bit of cash. It doesn't have to be anything.
Now you made it sound... seriously, edit that out.
Why? It's a little bit of cash. What's the big deal? It's donations to keep the lights on. What do you want, Gary?
The Christmas lights?
Yeah.
No, there's a little button on there that just says, give the dorks props or something like that.
You don't even know what the button says, and you don't want me to say what I said. I'm being truthful. Stop being
my
liar.
thing is hidden. It's a hidden thing. They're buying us coffee. So it says give the dorks props, and it just said buy the dorks coffee. It's a little button. You hit it, and it takes it to PayPal. And I think hopefully we have it set up where it's just I don't know how we're gonna set that up, but it's just a little idea that we have.
Yeah,
but that's not necessarily. It's cool. Just as long as you guys like us, hit the little like through Facebook or Google Plus or Twitter.
This is just for the super fans.
Super fans.
The super listeners. How about that? I don't like saying fans. I'd rather just say super listeners or super readers.
Or super anything's always good.
Yeah. So if you're just super,
I don't like
buy us coffee. Buy us coffee.
Copper.
Yeah.
It's 11:45 Pacific Standard Time.
So the show's over.
The show is over. Well, guys, thanks again for listening to us, and stay porky. What do we?
Stay dorky.
Stay dorky, guys. Thanks again. Have a good one. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the StudioDork Podcast, episode 13. Why not?
I thought we were going to do bloopers and, like, talk pre-show.
Wait, this is the blooper.
Okay, that's it, figured.
So, hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the StudioDork Podcast. No, actually, welcome to another great episode of the studio. Wait, take 7.
Take 7. Lucky number 7.
Yeah. Yeah. So, guys, welcome to the studio. Welcome to another.
Yeah, totally. Or something. Just so we have.
You sounded mean when you said that. Don't shut it off or I kill you.
Well, because I saw you doing it, I was like, don't do it.
Don't do it.
There was a couple times when we were doing the ending thing, and one of us shut it off really early, and I knew that there was something else after it. So I don't know if maybe I did it or you did it. So I'm just like, it's cool though.
Just like if anything ever goes wrong, and we're not blaming it on me, just blame it on the alcohol.
Yeah, exactly.
You see, that's a stupid blooper.
Why?
That's a stupid. What about all the cookies?
That's that too. We need the cookies.
When you go on Firefox, you start laughing before
I didn't even say that joke. I knew it was coming. There was a joke coming. Go ahead and say it.
But you say I'm bad at jokes.
No, but the way
you say I try hard. That's so uncool.
The funny part about this.
Now it won't even be funny because it's stupid.
But the funny part about it was I was looking at your face, and as you're saying, you looked at me for like recognition or something.
But you know what's funnier?
And it was funny because I started laughing from that.
You know what's funnier?
What?
That I was looking at your face, knowing that you knew that I knew. It was like weird. It was like
it was like we were like in sync. Like I was like, "Where's the joke?" And you're like,
"So like then a portal opened up and went to a different dimension."
That was kind of crazy. So
I was gonna say we can get chocolate chip cookies whenever you save a password in Firefox, but it's stupid. It's not even funny anymore. Because
so the joke was funnier before.
It was funnier without it being said.
Yeah.
But it's really, really important to make bad jokes, so then the good ones can seem better.
Have you ever heard of Moe's Egg Rolls?
Twice.
No, seriously. It's an egg roll truck that came on my work today. I didn't really get a chance to really go to it because I didn't want to, but I went to Subway instead. But
on Venice?
No, it was on Washington.
Oh,
so
you went to it?
No. The Subway was on Venice, but I thought you were talking about Moe Egg Rolls.
It's crazy, man. You're going to Venice in Italy, then you're going to Washington, D.C., and all these... How are you traveling so fast, man?
Dude, I just work for a company that just has, like, super jets and stuff.
Oh, okay.
It's awesome. It's cool, man.
Oh, we should...
But the way it gets cut together
we should do a podcast, like, tipsy once.
We talked about that before, remember?
I talk about stuff multiple times, you know how I am.
I know, but we were talking... I remember before we did the show, we were like, well, maybe we should be a little drunk before we do it. So
I don't want to use crazy words like drunk. I was just saying tipsy, not using crazy words.
I like drunk. Drunk words.
Give the dorks money. These are crazy words.
I said cash.
Cash money.
And all I meant was CACHE, so caching, and they just need to cache their site a couple times.
Did you get enough bloopers?
I think so. I think we're good. I think we're good on the bloopers.
All right, thanks guys. My name is not Cameron because I'm not stupid.
All right, that's fine.